Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea on Apple Podcasts. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling people about this. It's building. The idea here is 6-7 minutes of smart. Not my smart, our guest smart. And the guests are awfully smart. Today was just a brilliant day. I really can't say enough about, particularly the fixed income focus is extraordinary with the idea of price up, yield down. We'll get to that with Ian Lincoln here in a moment. Within all of it was the strength of retail sales. Thank you so much to Dana Telsey, her commitment to what we do with Telsey Advisory Group. She was absolutely brilliant on this Walmart news, and I gave her a 5-year question on Walmart, and she said they will just continue to dominate. And, frankly, we didn't talk about the department stores and what the middle of the retail is doing, but the thirst for luxury I found was just fascinating with their encyclopedic knowledge. On retail, from an economic standpoint, we spoke from PIMCO, Tiffany Wilding.
This completely confirms that the U.S. was not in recession in July. And obviously the risks of that, or at least the market's focus on the risks of that, were increased because of the unemployment report, and specifically the increase in the unemployment rate, which has triggered the so-called SOM rule. Historically, the SOM rule has been a good indicator that we are in recession right now. But, as we've been discussing, there's good reasons to believe why this time is actually different with that rule. We've had pretty big supply side gains in the labor market over the last few years as a result of immigration and just folks coming back post-pandemic. And that's not the markings of an economy that's in recession. This retail sales report just completely confirmed that.
Tiffany Wilding of PIMCO, really something. I looked up while she was speaking, Newport Beach, California. The average price of a house in Newport Beach is just over $3.3 million. It's not normal, or it's at least a different part of America from what we see and hear. So much of this is about an equity market higher. I mentioned that the VIX from its 65 levels moved 76%, down below 16. The market moves are just stunning. There's no other way to put it. And the linkage here, of course, is to the crystal ball out on yield. Many people are looking at price up, yield down, lower yields. David Rosenberg was brilliant earlier this week with Rosenberg Research. Ian Lincoln spent time with us today with BMO Capital Markets. And again, he reaffirmed ages ago the unthinkable move under 4%, and he reaffirms now the unthinkable move under 3%. Let's listen.
I think that a 3% or 2.99% 10-year yield is the new normal post everything that has occurred during the pandemic. It is not going to be associated with negative or zero policy rates. It's going to be a reflection of the Fed's success in getting break-evens down, reestablishing price stability, and some softness in the overall economy that almost invariably follows a hiking and tightening campaign, particularly one of this magnitude and with terminal in place for this long.
Ian Lincoln of BMO Capital Markets, and I'll just tell you, I can honestly say with the flash crash or whatever it was, I've never seen anything like this. Off of the move higher today, or at least higher as we tape this for a single best idea. Off of this move, there's some interesting data points on the Bloomberg Launchpad. I went to the currency market where we have stronger dollar, better American economy, no recession. DXY from a 102 out to 103, and critically, we saw some significant yen weakening. We went through the 148 level, 146, 147, weaker yen, 148, stronger dollar, and that bears careful watching given some of the challenges there. They showed some economic data, and the headline number was buoyant real GDP in Japan. I'll be blunt, I don't buy it. In Japan, I look at nominal GDP, and it's still a very fragile economic experiment. Full disclosure, some people disagree with me on that. Let's agree Apple CarPlay is a great way to listen to Bloomberg Surveillance, Android Auto as well. And on YouTube, you go YouTube Bloomberg Podcasts, and we're there with a icon. We're going to change it. They did a photo shoot. They didn't invite me, but they did a photo shoot, and they're going to change the visibility and all that. But you subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts out on YouTube, and that gets you to us. On Apple Podcasts, this is single best idea.